Hello again. The BBC is doing its best at the moment to whip up fears about climate change. This is due to some particularly warm weather in Europe at the moment. In a piece which they published today, they claim that scientists are saying that the Earth is now in uncharted territory, among other things because the extent of ice covering Antarctica is less than usual. I thought we might focus just on that particular part of the claim, which is so easy to refute that a child could manage it without any difficulty. I give a link in the description to this video to the BBC's latest and alarming item on climate change, which contains these mad claims. I dare say that most viewers will be aware that the BBC has a bit of a thing about climate change and that they plug it for all it's worth at the slightest excuse. For most of the Earth's history, there have been no ice caps at all, either at the North or South Pole. No ice in the Arctic, and none covering the Antarctic. The ice caps that everybody is so worried about today and people are constantly measuring are a relatively recent phenomenon associated with the ice ages. They are a leftover from the last ice age. There is incidentally no dispute about this. This isn't anything controversial or any sort of crackpot theory. This is standard science. Anybody interested in this could easily read a book on the subject or even find the adequate information on the internet as regards the ice caps. It's simply the case that for most of the Earth's history there weren't any ice caps. In other words, if all the ice, both the Arctic ice and that in Antarctica, were to melt, then that would be just how the Earth usually is. Although it might make life a bit difficult for any species which particularly likes to live along rivers and coasts, because the sea level will rise. Can anybody think of a worldwide species like that has lots of ports and so on? I must say at once that I am not a climate change skeptic. I firmly believe that the climate is changing as it always has done. At one time, almost the entire planet was covered in ice, and at other times, the whole Earth has enjoyed a tropical or subtropical climate. The thumbnail to this video shows an artist's impression of Antarctica as it was 90 million years ago. A huge rainforest covered the South Pole at that time, and the fossils of the trees and dinosaurs living there have been found and dated. It was a subtropical paradise rather than the barren, frozen wasteland which we know today. What caused this state of affairs? Was it global warming caused by factories and motor cars, perhaps exacerbated by all the airline travel and burning of fossil fuels? Well, no. It was nature. It is how the Earth behaves. Sometimes there are ice ages, and at other times everywhere you go is really hot. That's just how things are. I will be the first to admit that this is likely to be bad news for the human race. But I'm afraid that scrapping our gas boilers or refraining from taking foreign holidays or driving cars is not going to make all that much difference. Again, the business about Antarctica is not some crackpot theory. It's easy enough to check up. The fossils have been found, the various cores dated. It happens to be the fact that Antarctica was once a rainforest rather than covered in ice. The other week I was digging for fossils in South London. Near Belmarsh Prison, a stone's throw from Woolwich, is a very rich fossil bed which anybody can go along to and dig in. It's in the Abbey Woods. There is an immense stretch of sand, and when you dig down, you come across shark's teeth and seashells. The reason for this is that you're really on the seabed when you're there. For tens of millions of years, when there were no ice caps, this country lay hundreds of feet beneath tropical oceans. Now that's rising sea levels, if you like. They had risen so far in those days with no glaciers or ice caps to lock up all that water that the sea was a good deal deeper than it is now, and so Britain wasn't even dry land. It is, I suppose, entirely possible that we are now heading back to times like that, which would be a shame, of course. The idea that we can have any effect upon such an event, though, is absurd. We cannot stop ice ages any more than we can stop the ice caps melting. If the Earth is heating up once more, then there is absolutely nothing to be done about it. Claiming that the Earth is moving into uncharted territory is just silly, though. If we had been told that humanity is moving into uncharted territory, that would of course be a different matter. But then this would be a very parochial view of the Earth's history. In the description to this video, I'll also give a link to a bit about the fossilised rainforest which lies beneath the Antarctic ice.